Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we'll be talking about the NFL Hall of Fame game. This on another episode of. So, NFL games are back, and they will not be leaving us to February of next year. And as the first game ever for this year, the Hall of Fame game was actually really bad. I'm sad to say I watched it. It was a blowout. Obviously, this game doesn't count for anything, so it was obviously both sides were just using their backups. But it was sort of unwatchable if you wanted a competitive game. But it was a game nonetheless. So, what was the biggest surprise of that game for me? The utter shock on my face when I looked up at the television and Trey Lance was in a Chargers uniform trotting out in the field. I thought he was, I actually don't know where I thought he was because I sort of lost track of him. I'll admit, I didn't actually know he was a Charger. Obviously, Trey Lance, former 49ers player who started a few games, was expected to be their future, got hurt, got replaced by Brock Purdy, got traded to the Cowboys after 3 firsts were used to draft him, got traded to the Cowboys for not a first-round pick, then sat on the Cowboys bench for an entire season, and from there somehow found his way to be a Charger. And he did really good. He was one of the enjoyable parts of that game, was seeing him be a good quarterback. Because honestly, I think the last game I watched where he made an appearance was that Chicago rain game, which was honestly a few years ago. So that might have been the last time I saw him on television. And again, he looked good. 13 for 20, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, so when I say he looked good, please take into context, the Lions were a turnover machine, and the Chargers regularly didn't have to do full field drives. So those numbers, while they're not the biggest in the world, they were partially in part due to the Lions messing up, not necessarily just the Chargers, doing Charger things. Trey Lance he went out there and used every opportunity, and good for him. He certainly used his opportunity better than the 2 Lions quarterbacks that played in this game. The Lions the 2 quarterbacks combined for 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. The only 7 points the Lions got this game came off a running back, and there's 2 fumbles in there too. It was surprisingly bad. I'm not sure either of the Lions quarterbacks made a convincing argument for why they should be a backup to Jared Goff. But it's the first game. Rust will come off. They'll have their chances for the rest of this preseason to make their cases to be on that roster. Of course, Taylor Heinicke is currently the backup to Justin Herbert, and honestly, I could see Trey Lance jumping him by the end of this preseason if he continues to be as good as he was in the Hall of Fame game. So, final thoughts. The NFL's back. It's not leaving. We have reached the part of the year where fun things can happen. Second thought, Taylor Heinicke should be concerned about retaining his QB2 job on the Chargers. And conclusion 3, Lions fans, pray Jared Goff doesn't get hurt. Pray constantly, because if your fate is put down to either Kyle Allen or Hendon Hooker, you are in trouble. Jared Goff needs to stay healthy for your team to have any shot, because based on what we saw of those 2 quarterbacks in this game. If Jared Goff gets hurt, you might be on Bears watch. And by Bears watch, I mean you might just want to hate being an NFL fan. So on that cheery note, with that being said, guys, please like, share, subscribe down below, comment what you think, and I'll see you next time.